Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome to Motivation to Invest. Is Bitcoin about to become the reserve currency of the United States? And what does the big data giant Palantir have to do with all this? And also, does China now have a digital currency very similar to Bitcoin? All these questions I'm going to answer in this video and show you guys some major headlines which you need to know about. So before we get right into it, guys, if you're new around here, feel free to join the investing family by hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. On this channel, we focus on deep dive stock analysis and investment tips. And also, if you do find value in updates like these, feel free to give this video a big thumbs up. With that being said, let's dive in. So firstly, the Miami Mayor, Francis Suarez, has received approval on implementing Bitcoin. So Miami Mayor announced his Bitcoin adoption resolution, Green Line. Now this is a big deal. Miami is a major city in the US. So according to Suarez, his resolution to implement Bitcoin has been officially approved by the City of Miami Commission. As a result, Miami is now the first Bitcoin municipal in the United States. So as you can see here, we had Mayor Francis Suarez on Twitter exploring state legislative priority, paying employees in Bitcoin, and investing city treasury into Bitcoin. So that's a big deal, especially if you're investing the city's money into Bitcoin. Imagine the mayor invested the city's money into Bitcoin or a portion of that into Bitcoin, and then let's say Bitcoin crashed. That could be a real game changer for the city of Miami. But let's say Bitcoin doubled, then that could also be a real game changer for the city of Miami. So this is a big deal, guys. This is a major city in the US. Of course, this is following the likes of Tesla, which invested $1.2 billion into Bitcoin. Then we had Square and PayPal, who also bought some Bitcoin and offered Bitcoin payments. So it's clear this crypto boom seems to be gaining some major traction, not just from speculators, but also from major government officials. The approved proposal will allow for employees to be paid part of their salary in Bitcoin, and residents will be able to pay fees and taxes using Bitcoin. Now, this is just mind-blowing for me. The Miami legislature will direct efforts towards facilitating the use of Bitcoin within the city. To get the ball rolling, Bitcoin will also become a reserve asset. So that's officially a reserve asset, since part of the city's revenue will be invested in the leading cryptocurrency. So it's already going to be a reserve asset for the city of Miami. So will other cities start to adopt Bitcoin also as a reserve asset? Now, perhaps the mayor of Miami is a part-time trader, or he just sees a potential technological application. But then we also have Andrew Yang, hopeful for a crypto New York City. So former presidential candidate and New York City mayoral hopeful Andrew Yang has found some inspiration in Suarez. On February the 12th, Yang tweeted that he hopes to get the chance to transform New York City into a cryptocurrency hub if he emerges as the next mayor of New York City. As a mayor of New York City, the world's financial capital, I would invest in making the city a hub for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. With dozens of merchants already accepting Bitcoin payments, the financial and technology hub, with over 8.4 million residents, is well on track to achieve this. So this is a big deal. We've got Miami already using Bitcoin as a reserve currency, and we've got a potential New York mayor, if elected, will also implement Bitcoin on a citywide scale. So what does Palantir have to do with all this? Palantir is a big data giant, and as they say, data is the new gold or even the new oil. Palantir was founded by Peter Thiel, one of the original PayPal founders, along with Elon Musk, and also Alex Karp. Now, I did many previous videos on Palantir, and full disclosure, guys, I do already have shares in Palantir stock, so be sure to check out my previous videos on Palantir. I'll leave those in the description below. So this is on an article by Seeking Alpha. So Chairman Peter Thiel hints that Palantir could rein in Bitcoin. So this could actually be a bad thing for Bitcoin, but maybe a good thing for Palantir. So Palantir Chairman Peter Thiel claimed that he is a Bitcoin maximalist, while simultaneously warning about the threat that Bitcoin poses to the dollar's position as a reserve currency. Now, for those that don't know, Palantir was originally started, I believe, backed by the CIA. So Palantir has extremely close connections with the US government, with the CIA, and thus any threat to the US financially or by any other means, Palantir will aim to put a stop to that using its big data analytics technology. So while there is no publicly disclosed link between the program and Palantir, the IRS is scanning Bitcoin. So this is what you guys need to know. If you're in the US and you're trading a lot of Bitcoin, you're worried about tax, the IRS is scanning Bitcoin transactions under Operation Hidden Treasure. The IRS uses Palantir to find tax evasion. So Palantir, big data analytics engine. Now Palantir's data governance technology could provide a privacy balance compliant solution to Bitcoin in a more stringent regulatory environment. Now this would cement Bitcoin as an open source alternative to the digital Yuan. Now I did speak about this a while back. I said my real issue with Bitcoin, I think there's a lot of bullish momentum behind it. I think people would want to see Bitcoin as a reserve currency, and my major issue, which I did state in a previous video, is I can see the government regulating Bitcoin massively. And basically at the moment Bitcoin's decentralized, but let's say the government buys a heap load of it, then it could effectively act as a centralized currency, very similar to the digital yuan in China. And then the whole idea of Bitcoin being this free technology which can roam the world freely without any government controlling it would be over for Bitcoin. And that doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin's price would fall. In fact, Bitcoin's price would most likely become more stable, but the whole idea behind Bitcoin would actually be just destroyed. China's already done this. So China has created its own digital currency, our first major economy. So China actually created this Chinese yuan, and basically it gives Beijing power to track spending in real time, plus money that isn't linked to the dollar-dominated global financial system. So this is why Peter Thiel states this could actually be a threat to the US. Now, this is the real danger with digital currencies, with cryptocurrencies. Basically, it means any government can actually track people's spending if they bring out a centralized cryptocurrency, such as this digital yuan. So, for example, with this digital yuan, they can actually track people spending. They know where they're spending, how they're spending. Let's say somebody has some sort of problem with the government in China. The Chinese government, I believe they can do this now actually, but they can actually freeze people's bank accounts. They can actually reduce people's credit ratings. They can actually reduce the amount of money that that person actually has in their actual pocket. And this could actually be a real danger for many citizens of the world if the government has the ability to not just track your wealth, but remove your wealth and actually restrict your wealth. Of course, this is something people could get away with in China, but in the United States, I think it'll be a little bit more difficult, but still possible. So here's a direct quote from Peter Thiel, the co-founder of Palantir. So from China's point of view, they don't like the US having this reserve currency because it gives us, a lot of leverage over the Iranian oil supply chains and all sorts of things like that. Even though I'm sort of a pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin maximalist person, I do wonder whether at this point Bitcoin should also be thought of as part of a Chinese financial weapon against the US, where it threatens fiat money, which it does threaten fiat money, but it especially threatens the US dollar, and China wants to do things to weaken it. So this is what I alluded to earlier. And he went on to say China's digital yuan is not a real cryptocurrency and is instead more a totalitarian measuring device. Now, according to Mike Pompeo of the US government, the United States has a project where we're working on it too, but we're slow off the gate. It has a lot of implications for us here at home, and my guess is that we will not be the leader in this forefront, where an authoritarian regime like China sees nearly all upside from having the capacity to issue currency or take away currency from people who act in ways that are inconsistent with the Chinese government. And then if we go back to tax and the IRS, which is currently, so today the IRS is tracking Bitcoin transactions. So this is hidden treasure. An executive director at the IRS disclosed a program known as Operation Hidden Treasure while speaking at a tax conference. This program is headed by an emerging threats mitigation team inside of IRS's Fraud Enforcement Office. So these transactions are not anonymous. We see you, according to Damon Rowe of the IRS Fraud Enforcement Office. So they're basically de-encrypting Bitcoin transactions, which actually does destroy one of the main benefits of Bitcoin. Now, while there is no public disclosure that Palantir's software is involved in Operation Hidden Treasure, it certainly raises eyebrows to see Palantir's chairman advocating for Bitcoin maximalism and at the same time suggesting that it could be a financial weapon that the government needs to take a closer look at. So at the moment, the IRS is analysing an expansive amount of data that includes social media posts, bank records, and can decrypt anonymous crypto transactions. Now that's a big deal, guys. That's a major deal. And to me, that could actually spell the end for many cryptocurrencies. Now, although Bitcoin is a truly global phenomenon, US citizens are still subject to US tax laws. The IRS has the right to enforce such laws through the US legal system, but US citizens also have a right to privacy, so these two are effectively being balanced at the moment. So this is major news for the cryptocurrency space. We've got Bitcoin being used as a reserve currency in Miami, talk of it being used in New York as a reserve currency, while at the same time, the US government and the IRS, working with Palantir, potentially is actually tracking Bitcoin transactions, decrypting Bitcoin transactions, and actually targeting people for tax evasion. So it's basically they're giving with one hand and taking away with the other. And to me, this really does go against many of the ethics of cryptocurrency and what the whole movement is about. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, so please do comment your thoughts below. What do you think of the current situation with regards to Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and the digital yuan in China? Comment your thoughts below. Do you think this is good news, or do you think the government is going to control cryptocurrency? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do comment below. If you guys did find value in this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. That helps out tremendously with the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to join the investing family by hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. Usually we focus on deep dive stock analysis, investing tips, and the latest investment news. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an incredible day, and I'll see you in my next video. Invest safe.